So guys, the Barrow Dyad exotic SMG is now available within the game, and today I'm going to be going over how you can first gain access to the quest to then unlock the exotic mission, which then Barrow Dyad comes from. So let's first go into the quest guide here. First things first, you're going to want to load into the Nether Exploration, and you're going to want to keep on reloading until you get the spawn location of the entrance to the King's Fall raid. You're going to want to head straight to where that raid normally begins, and you should notice a large taken blight that wasn't there normally. Jump into this blight, there'll be some platforms that you can jump onto to help you get there, and then you'll be teleported into this room with a plate and then a circular thing on the wall. You'll need to stand on the plate and look at the thing on the wall. Then it will say in the bottom left hand side that something whispers in a direction. The idea is that you then walk in that direction and you'll be teleported to a place where you can collect a little fragment, which will then start off the main quest. Now, after you've claimed the fragment, head back to Eris's apartment and talk to the slab that's there. That's the main seasonal vendor. This will then task you with applying a specific runic enhancement, which you might actually not have unlocked yet unless you've done a couple cheeses or just have all of them unlocked. I believe that throughout this entire quest line, even to get the intrinsic upgrades for said catalyst, you are going to need pretty much most of these unlocked, so I would highly recommend doing that. Once you have equipped the specified runic enhancement, you're then going to want to head over to the Sorrow's Harbor location on the moon, which is the top right section, and head over to the nearest lost sector, which is in that area. There'll be a little taken orb that you'll need to shoot, which will unlock a new plate and symbol. The whispering will appear on the bottom left, telling you to walk in a direction, and then you'll just go through killing all of the enemies within that area until you get to the boss, and then another taken fragment will be waiting for you there. Now, the next location you're going to need to go to is the Sorrow's Harbor. There'll be a lost sector in that area. Go down and then follow the route that I take on screen to find the next plate and symbol that you need to find. Now, the thing with this one is you're going to be teleported multiple times, so pay attention to which directions you need to walk in on these plates. I believe the plates themselves point in the direction you need to walk in as well, so just do that until you get teleported all the way to like the end of this lost sector, and then there'll be a whole load of taken stuff spawning. Defeat all the enemies, and then basically backtrack your way through the lost sector, following the little taken splodges on the floor until you basically get to a final boss. Beat them, and then another fragment should be there waiting for you. Then once you've collected that next fragment, head back to Eris's apartment, talk to the slab, and you'll then be given 3 different quests. The first will task you with going into Nightmare Hunt Pride, another one will task you with going into the Hollowed Grove Lost Sector, and the final one will task you with going into the Altars of Sorrow activity. The idea here is you're going to be finding these little taken bubbles inside of these areas. For the Nightmare Hunt Pride, it's all the way at the end of the mission, so just go there and you'll see this big taken bubble. For Hollowed Grove, it will be right as soon as you spawn into that lost sector, and for Altars of Sorrow, it will be literally right there in the middle of that big open area. The idea is you collect this relic and then defeat enemies with said relic. For the Nightmare Hunt, you just need to defeat the boss with the relic. For the Hollowed Grove, defeat all the enemies and loot the chest. And for Altars of Sorrow, just defeat enough enemies. Once you have defeated enough enemies, the timer on the top of your screen should disappear, and you should get like a notification saying that you are powered up enough. Then you'll want to return to where you got the relic and then destroy it just by walking into that taken pool area. Then after you've done that, you'll need to once again go into Nether Exploration. The idea here is that you'll want to spawn into each of the 3 different first spawning zones and find these different Hive statues. Interacting with these statues will then spawn a boss, and defeating said boss will then drop you another fragment. Follow on screen for all the locations of the different statues and their bosses and fragments as well. And then once you have collected your final fragment, you'll then be tasked with going into the brand new exotic mission, Derealize. Now, I don't want to spoil that mission for you here. I'd highly recommend going in blind because it's a great experience and a whole lot of fun. But once you've completed that mission, you'll then be granted the exotic SMG Barrow Dyad. Now, this thing will then also grant you another quest, which will task you with finding different fragments within the Nether activity. From what I've seen, these are marked on your radar when you get close to them, similar to the other collectibles within that Nether activity. So they shouldn't be all that difficult to find, and they glow pretty brightly. So I'll leave you guys to find those unless they are in really precarious positions. Then I might make a separate video finding out all of those locations. Now that you know how to get your hands on Barrow Dyad, let's first go over its actual traits and stuff so that you can see what this thing can actually do. So its first intrinsic trait is Panic Response, where this weapon generates blight as it deals damage. While not firing, blight depletes and the magazine is gradually refilled. Reload the weapon to convert stored blight into blighted seekers. Then also comes with Taken Divergence, where hitting 3 different targets generates a large amount of blight, and blighted seekers bore into targets. You then also have 4 catalysts for this weapon, the first of which being Target Lock Refit. You then also have One for All Refit, Hatchling Refit, and then High Impact Reserves Refit. For me personally, I feel like One for All Refit is going to be very good, especially paired with Taken Divergence, but that's just me. Then there's a whole load of other stuff here, like different grips, magazines, and barrel options as well. I'm guessing that by finding all of the fragments upon actually getting the weapon and collecting that second quest will then grant you these catalysts, or they might be tied to different secrets within the exotic mission itself. I have no idea. I'll find out more probably tomorrow when I wake up. But yeah, I'm just going to leave you here with some gameplay of the weapon itself. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, because it really does help me out here an absolute ton. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.